Welcome back to the Lifted Podcast, besties. I've seen these things on Instagram constantly where people are talking about like the things that they're leaving behind in 2024 and the things that they're taking with them in 2025 and like what they're doing different. And I actually wanted to make like a little podcast about it because as much as I wanted to make a post about it, I was like, I think I have so many things to talk about that why don't we just talk about them? Um, so I first wanted to start off with just my outs of 2024. So things that I really want to leave in 2024, whether it be personal, business related, even fitness related. So, my very, very first thing that I want to leave in 2024 is having like really strict routines. I think I've always been this person that I've kind of been a little bit stressful, to say the least. Um, I've always had like very strict routines, like everything has to be done in a certain way and just trying to control that. And like sometimes if my routines wouldn't work out, I would get upset. I would say, okay, well, now it's not going to be a good day because I didn't like whatever it was. Maybe I didn't walk in the morning. Maybe I didn't get my cardio in that day. Maybe I didn't go to the gym that day. Um, I want to leave that behind. I also had for a while this routine of like going to a cafe and working in the mornings. And like, as much as I really love that, I think my work and my business has completely changed in the sense of like, I have to do a lot of content all the time. So, a lot of filming and a lot of being on camera. And I almost saw that as like a hobby a couple years ago. And now it has turned into my job. Um, So I almost have to change my perception on like what work even is. Like I don't have to sit in front of my computer every day all the time and be like that's me working. Because essentially like that's not everything that I do. Like I'm in front of the camera, I'm working when I go to the gym and like it doesn't feel like work, so it's not stressful or anything. Um, but just changing that perception of, okay, if I'm just filming, like I'm not doing enough. So just kind of taking away what routines that I like have to have and they must be like this. And I don't really like that anymore. Like I like kind of going with the flow and being like, okay, whatever happens, happens. So I'm going to leave that. We're going to leave the routines and the strict routines and like having something to constantly be doing all the time. I want to leave that in 2024 for sure. My second thing, I feel like I could rant about all of these forever. I'm not going to. I'm going to get to the good parts for you. Whoever's like listening to this, watching this, doing cardio, um, I don't want to just ramble on. As much as I love rambling on, I want to get to the important parts of all of these. So, burnout. I don't want to burn out this year. I feel like I had not that I burnt out a lot in 2024, but I definitely had my moments where I took on way too much. I would not say no to things. Um, I think this year, not that I want to say no to everything, but I just want to be a little bit more like picky about what I'm doing, where I'm spending my time, what I'm actually spending time on. I think that burnout is so real, and when it hits, it like hits hard. You when you burn out, you're like affected physically, mentally, um, emotionally. It's just not really a fun time. And I think I like to avoid that. I like to just kind of cruise through life right now. That's my vibe. um, and I think the ways that I'm going to do that is just making sure that, like, the self care and, you know, having time to myself, having time to like reset and also just like recover and take that time to just not overwork myself. I think it's like the hustle culture is great. I think I'm a really productive person when I'm very busy and I have a lot of plans and I have things to do, and maybe I've booked a lot of things and appointments and whatnot. But hustle culture is so, I think it can get too much if you don't like listen to what you need and listen to things that you actually need at that time. I hope that makes sense. Ooh, this is a good one. Number 3 that I'm going to leave in 2024, talking to the wrong audience. This is totally business related. So this year, 2024, last year, I guess. Whoa, we're in 2025. That's like so weird to me. How many times am I going to fuck that up when I like write out the date? Like, oh my God, because it's so, yeah. Anyway, okay, talking to the wrong audience. So my issue for a while of like for a couple months in 2024 was, okay, you guys know that I am very passionate about making content. I've been in marketing for a long time and love making content. I think it's like one of my favorite creative outlets. Is that a thing? Creative outlet? Yeah. Love doing it. Absolutely love just marketing, doing that kind of thing, making things different. What I did this year, and it was such a big problem for a while, was I looked at other people that were in fitness or other people that were in like my kind of niche, which sounds weird because I feel like my niche is very unique. But it was mostly just towards like fitness. I think I like grouped myself into that, and I almost got in my head about, okay, I should be making content like theirs, or maybe they all think I'm stupid. This ran through my head so many times this year, was like, maybe everyone thinks I'm stupid because I'm this girl that gets high and goes to the gym. And then I go on TikTok and I talk about it, and it's funny. I love my content. It's so funny. Sometimes I sound like a complete idiot, but at the same time, like I feel like a lot of times I'm able to then dumb down the valuable content. So I think what I've heard from like feedback of like my TikTok content especially is girls learn that way. Like think about it. If you're a beginner at the gym and you have someone talking about, I don't know, whatever it is, a squat or something, and they're really like technical about what they're talking about, you're probably going to be like, as a beginner, you're going to be like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And like, how am I supposed to learn anything from you? Because you're so technical and you're so, this is how you have to do it and blah, 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 Whereas I think that my content came from a place of, like, it's a little bit dumb sometimes. But at the same time, when you're a beginner, like, I wish I had that. I wish I had someone that would dumb things down so that I knew, so that I could learn it, so that I could like, start in grade 1 of fitness and be like, okay, now I understand how to do a basic squat. Maybe it's not perfect, but at the same time, you can take that and you can just build on it. And I feel like I didn't really have that. So maybe that's why I'm trying to like make that my content in a sense. I'm not sure, but I fell down this huge rabbit hole with my content of comparing to other people, thinking that it's not good enough. I think you guys probably noticed that our content changed a lot. And I finally found myself again, so yay. But I like to just leave that in 2024 is just the comparison. And I think that for anyone that is doing content or is in content, you might understand this and you might not, but I think that content is like you have to put yourself into it and put your own personality into it. And if you're sitting there comparing to other people, you can't put your personality into it because you're now doing what everyone else is doing, which is so boring and mundane. And like, no hate to anyone, but if content is your creative outlet, and you're doing what everyone else is doing, like you're going to burn out. Like you just will. And I think that's where half of my burnout came from, was comparing to all these other fitness people and being like, this is how it has to be. But I like having different content. I love that. I love being creative with it and just doing my thing. And I just think it's like, yeah, it's just fun. Content is so fun if you actually are yourself and you put your personality into it. It's a vibe. So anything talking to the wrong audience, like if you're not an LL girl, you're not my fucking audience, like at all. Okay, so bye. No, I'm just kidding. The next one is just low value content. I know I'm talking a lot about content, you guys, but it's kind of my life and I love it and it's fun. Low value content, I feel, is anything that just is like, why am I putting this out? Like if I don't have a reason for posting something, I'm not going to post it, is my vibe. I think right now I'm really into like quality over quantity. I think if you have really good quality anything, you should be putting it out into the world. If you're putting out shit quality stuff, like why are you putting it out? Like what is the reasoning for it? And I think that if I don't have a reason for stuff that I want to post, it might not be posted. Unless it's just funny, then it'll be posted. But that's a reason. Like my content is funny and sometimes it's random and sometimes, you know, it's just my personality. But that's the reason to put it out, is to put my personality out there, because why not, you know? Okay, enough about content. One thing with business, I actually had a couple girls, and if you were one of them, send me a message if this helps you, because I had a couple girls message me about business and like what advice I would really give to, you know, new business owners, small business owners. Maybe you've been in business for a bit. And I'm just thinking of myself. And this is something that I want to leave in 2024. So maybe you want to leave it as well, is like wearing all the hats, like doing everything yourself, doing the marketing, doing, marketing, social media, filming everything for yourself. What else do we do? Oh my God, there's like so much. Like if I think about everything, I'm like, how does everyone do all this? Like what I would like to do is leave that. Like I don't want to do everything myself, because I really think that time is valuable, and when you're running a business, you have to free up as much time as you can for yourself in order for the business to work. Does that make sense? Makes sense in my head. And so getting other people to do even just small tasks for you will free up your time so you can do other things in the business. So there's a lot of things in my business that I'm like, okay, I could probably get someone else to help me with that, or I could probably get someone else to do that for me. I like to get to obviously just a place like financially to be able to offload some of that work, you know, and be like, you do some of this, I'll focus on the other stuff. When you're in business and you're doing so many other things, you just get like burnt out. We're back to the burnout. Oh my God. This is my favorite one that I'm leaving, and it's back to the content, is chasing algorithms. Everyone that's posting content, and it's like, I swear so many people are posting content. Everyone's posting videos. Everyone's posting on TikTok and Instagram. And especially if you have a business, you just have to keep up to date with it. Chasing algorithms kind of connects to my other one, is so draining. It's so draining because you're just chasing the views. You're chasing these likes. You're chasing basically these people. And if you're running a business and you're actually doing your marketing pretty well, people will just come to you. So as much as you want to like chase other people and whatever, people will find you. And I think chasing algorithms is so, like, you can get so wrapped up in it. You know, you post a video and you're like, how many likes did it get? How many views did it get? And you're like constantly refreshing and constantly being like, okay, what are the hooks that I used that really worked? What are the, like, what got the most comments? What got the most shares? What got this? What got fucking that? And it's like, when you're so wrapped up in the data of something, you actually sit there and you will just go into this like dark rabbit hole of, how do I make my content better? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I, and it takes the fun out of content. Like, you will take your personality out of it because all you care about are the numbers, and all you care about are the views, and all you care about are the likes on everything. When in reality, like, you're running a business. Like, you're not, like, it doesn't fucking matter essentially. Yeah, I don't know. I think that chasing algorithms is so 2024. It is not in 2025, okay? Not happening. No. I feel like I spent so much time being like, I have to get so many views, and I have to get this, and I have to grow this account, and I have to do this. And like, it's okay to have goals, but at the same time, like, don't let that change the way that you do your content. I feel like I'm talking to myself. I need to hear all of this. That's a lot to leave in 2024. I'm trying to think of like anything else that I didn't write down that I want to leave in 2024. I don't think so. Not that I can think of. The shitty couch. You guys, we got these gorgeous couches for the podcast. These beautiful blankets that I could literally stay in like all night. They're so comfy and cozy. Link is in my Amazon. The couches aren't. These are not from Amazon. Okay, if anyone's been following the journey, let me just talk about the couch for a second, because it's like the highlight of tonight, okay? This is the real star, is the couch. So we got these couches, and they were like total, it was like $2,700, okay? Canadian. You guys are all from America, most of you. Canadian. And the couch that I was looking at online, if you didn't follow the story, was $7,000. $7,000. And I didn't even get to sit on it first. It could have been like an awful couch. It looked beautiful online. But these we got at a furniture store in Calgary. And they were half the price, and we got to sit on them and try them. If you haven't watched the vlogs, it's all up in the vlogs. And I have to say, these are like the best purchase of 2024. What else did we buy in 2024? Oh, Snowflake, the camera, the vlog camera, was also a very good purchase. 2025 is going to be a good year. Let's talk about what we're bringing into 2025. 2025, first let's talk about my fitness and your fitness. If you're listening to this, this is also talking to you, okay? Because you're probably on the app. If you're not on the app, where have you been? Get on the app. No, I'm just kidding. Do what you want. But what we're working on as LL girls, all together, all of us, every single one of us, is our mobility and just like body self-care. I think I've been training for 4 years, 5 years, around there. I don't know. Like heavy lifting. And I've totally neglected my mobility and flexibility and like just my recovery and everything. I feel like I just train so hard constantly that I want to like take some time to actually work on it, but I want all of us to do it together because we need that and we deserve that. And 2025 deserves that. 2025 us deserves a little bit of body love. Is that what you would fucking call that? I don't know. I would call it body love. That's so random. But it works. I think we take so much time to, think of ourselves in the gym and be like, okay, I'm here for the glutes and I'm here for, the juicy quads or whatever you're there for. Maybe you're there for like the nice back. I don't know. You could just be there for health. But mobility is so important, and it helps us like not, it helps us move. It helps us be healthy. So we're going to take some time to do that. We're going to, after our workouts, we're going to stretch. Before our workouts, we're also going to stretch. And we're all doing it. So if we're doing it together, then it has to work, right? Anyway, here's another one, is prioritizing mental health. I think prioritizing like us and our mental health, I actually saw this post that someone was like, I think that, the self-care era and like the it girl kind of era, basically the whole self-care thing has made us all very like selfish. And yeah, bitch, it has, because I think that like we need to be like, I think that sometimes like we get, as much as I think we should give to other people, I think there needs to be a balance. I think we need to balance the fact that we need our own time, and like we need time to heal ourselves and just be by ourselves. And I think for myself, like my mental health relies a lot on like how much time I have myself, how much time I have alone, how much time I have to be independent, an independent woman. And feel like with mental health, like I think you need to find your ways to be happy and healthy, and whether that's setting boundaries with people or whether it's, maybe, we were talking about balance. Sorry, you guys. I totally got off track. Welcome to my life. Balance between our mental health and being selfish and being by ourselves and doing things for ourselves, but also giving to other people. I think we have to not forget that is like, we do have to still help our friends, and we do have to still be there for our friends, and relationships also take like a little bit of effort from us. So there needs to be a bit of balance there. Yay, let's bring balance into 2025 too. I didn't write that down, but that is definitely something that I want to bring, is like having the balance between everything. Like, I think life is just like a balancing act. And I think sometimes we're really good at it, and sometimes life is going great, and sometimes we're really shit. And sometimes we're like, I have spent hours working this month and I haven't even seen any of my friends. And like, that's okay, because eventually it's going to balance out. I'm a Libra, so like, of course I'm going to talk about balance. Okay, relationships. Let's talk about relationships. I think one thing that I want to do in 2025 is actually work on my relationships, whether it's relationships with the girls in the community, because my LL girls mean a lot to me. And I feel like I have always tried to prioritize them, you guys, in some way, whether it's talking to you on Snapchat, hanging out with you guys at the lifted trips, going on Facebook and making sure that I comment on some of your stuff and actually look through what people are posting on there in the Facebook group. And I want to like continue doing that. Like, I want to build those relationships. I feel like even with like the OG girls, I feel like we're like friends. Like, we're like, obviously they're not here in where I live, but they're close, some of them, or they're in the States or whatever. But I feel like I know them, and I want to just continue that. Like, I really like that. Also, relationships in real life. I think for a while I was so connected to the internet and social media and my LL girls. I spent so much time building those connections that I didn't put any effort into real people that are here, that are in my city, that I can sit down with and talk to. And I think I want to put more effort into that. I feel like last year, 2024, I have been slowly making those connections. And I feel like in 2025, I just want to build on them and build them and work on them, I guess. So, okay. That's all about relationships, I guess. Well, and James. We want to work on our relationship, but everyone should work on their relationship. I think with like any sort of relationship, I think you have to like grow together. You know, I think you should try to grow together in any sense, you know? Anyway, okay. So the next one is just being a little bit more customer focused. You know what I do sometimes in business is I fall in love with something and I make a very quick decision and I don't think about anything else. It's awful. But I love it because I think in business you have to make really quick decisions. You have to just decide on something. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And that's just how it is. But I also think that like you have to think about what your customer wants. Like, I have to think about what the LL girls would actually like. Like, do we want to hang out in sweatsets all day, every day? Probably. Yeah, I do. But, like, do you guys want that? You know? So, just being a little bit more like listening to you guys and what you actually want. I actually have this list on my phone. When you guys message me and you tell me what you want, like, flare leggings, I know flare leggings are a thing on there. I know it because I wrote it down. Different colors that you guys have told me that you wanted. Different designs that you guys have told me. I have a list of like everything that you guys have sent me because I get girls messaging me about different designs that they like or whatever else. And sometimes I really like them too. So it works. But yeah, so if you have any ideas, you guys have access to me on Snapchat. So send me a message, send me a photo, send me the color number. I don't know. Okay, next. Using AI, I think as a small team, it's just James and I, we have to make use of things that are going to help us. And so in different ways, we can bring in some sort of AI or like automated systems so that we don't have to be working 24/7. I still think there's a lot of work to do. We have a lot to do all the time. But like using it like for anything that we need to. I mean, who nowadays doesn't use Chat GPT? Like, well, I think of my mom. She didn't really know how to use it. Love you, Mom. But we kind of know how to use it. So we may as well use it, right? It's like calculators in like grade 10. I remember when I was in grade 10. Oh my God. It was like grade 10 math and they wouldn't let us use a calculator. And I was like, dude, I have one on my phone. Like, I literally have a calculator wherever I go, and I can't use a calculator in a test. It was so dumb, you guys. It was so stupid. It was like, what? Anyway, okay, my last one. It kind of relates to the other one. Making like actual data-driven decisions. I am a very spontaneous person. I will just do things and make decisions in like a second. Like it's actually kind of funny because I feel like I literally will say yes or no to everything. Like sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I'll think about it. But most of the time it's a hard yes or it's a hard no. And sometimes I think I need to take a second and like think about it and be like, okay, Actually, no, I don't. You know what? No, I'm not doing that. That's no. Now that I think about it, that is not coming into 2025. I don't think that's I don't think that's how I want to live. I think I want to just decide and deal with the consequences. You guys, I bought, and the OGs will remember this. I bought about $4,000 USD. USD. You know how much that is Canadian? Like 6 or 7 thousand. I don't know. It's a lot. $6 or 7 thousand. That's my couch. That could have been my couch. I spent that on t-shirts when I didn't even have any customers. Like it was like I didn't sell a t-shirt. I didn't sell one t-shirt in my first business or one of my first businesses. And then a couple years later, I eventually sold them. So like it all worked out. But like I like that side of me. I like being very spontaneous and kind of just doing what I want when I want and making decisions right then and there. Because that's fun. That's fun. No, I'm doing that. Decisions are being made really quickly. Anyway, what else do I want to bring into 2025? Our couches. Honestly, I want to just keep growing the podcast, working on the podcast, and like making it a total vibe because it already is with these couches. It's so nice. Like this, I feel so much more comfy talking, even though I've got like 3 cameras on me. What else should I bring into 2025? Bigger glutes. Yo. So random. But honestly, like we've been on a mission to grow our glutes since like 2020. So another year, another hip thrust. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. If I think of anything else, I don't know, I'll put it on Instagram or something. But if you have anything that you're bringing into 2025 or anything that you're leaving in 2024, I'd be interested to hear them. So feel free to send me a message, or I think you can comment on podcast depending what you're listening on. So comment. And yay, let's have a good 2025. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next podcast. Bye.